Okay. Cross our fingers and hope that um that this stream stays up because it's driving me nuts. Says that I have excellent connection, so we will see. As of right now, what we are seeing is live footage from CBS Philadelphia. I do have their video linked, so if you want to see their video, um, you are able to go in the description and see. We are currently waiting on Governor Josh Shapiro to get to the scene of the crash for a press conference.
Oh, I'm almost level 100. I need 11 more.
All right,
11.
everybody. I hope.
No. Well, should be calculating.
All right. So far, we are doing significantly better than we were earlier. So far. Yep. And as I said, we are currently waiting for Governor Josh Shapiro to arrive at the scene of the accident, and we're back to no data. As long as my stream does not go down, I will be happy. um, I am live streaming from CBS News. Their link is in the description. Um, so yes, I am streaming straight from their website as of right now. And from what officials have said is that they cannot um, confirm or deny any survivors. They are notifying family members first. They do know that it was a medical plane that had crashed, that there were two doctors, the pilots, a minor child that was a patient, and that minor's family member. They have not confirmed or denied any survivors. When the plane did crash, it did cause several buildings and several businesses to catch on fire. They have found debris up to a tenth of a mile away from what reports have said so far. What you are currently seeing is some of the earlier footage from right after the crash happened. Um, this crash happened right outside of Roosevelt Mall, um, on Cotman Avenue and Roosevelt Boulevard in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, around 6 p.m. And I am going to just let you guys watch some of this footage for a little bit. They did state, one of the newscasters did state that right after the crash had happened, they were able to find somebody who was in the parking lot um, of the mall who had seen the crash. And they did state that they did see human remains, and that they had to leave their tow truck. Um, Whatever the case is, this is an absolute tragedy. And honestly, I am hoping for the absolute best outcome that, everybody is just injured. Um, I am choosing to be an optimist on this. Um, Everybody has stated that they felt their homes shake in the area. They were showing footage earlier of one couple who was getting into the house right as the plane had crashed. It showed multiple explosions. Um, my heart goes out to everybody um, who knows the people on the plane, their loved ones, their friends, family, um, people that they went to school with, and things like that. Um, and I am keeping everybody in the city of Philadelphia in my thoughts. Um, and this is an absolute tragedy.
to notify family members of those who were on board.
And again, we have just confirmed that a juvenile
Sorry,
patient
everybody. I thought I
finishing
had to
treatment
count
in
on that whole
Philadelphia
damn time.
was on that plane with a family member and 2 doctors and 2 pilots, and that child was going to be transported back to Mexico. Then this happened after 6 o'clock this evening. Moments after takeoff, this Learjet 55 crashes to the ground on a 45-degree angle. Very, very early, no answers right now. Investigators, the NTSB, FAA, will be on the scene trying to figure this all out. Why something like this happened just moments after takeoff.
And this is a tragedy on just so many levels. I mean, you know, for this child who had just, you know, we have some of the best children's hospitals here in Philadelphia. This child from Mexico, you can imagine finishing their treatment, their family member probably eager to get home back to their loved ones there. And for this to happen, as their families wait for news, maybe not even realizing what happened. And then also for those who are on the ground here, we're not sure how many people who were in that Northeast Philadelphia community at the time, how many of them may have been injured. But as we've been hearing from our reporters who have been working their sources, who have been speaking with witnesses at the scene, it sounds like the outcome here was grim tonight.
Wow. We're still waiting for officials to get back with this. As you mentioned, Governor Shapiro will be speaking soon. He's on his way. The mayor has spoken already. I'm sure she will return as well. But this is what they will be discussing. This is what they will be discussing. This horrific accident that happened this evening on Friday night, a busy Friday night in this Northeast Philadelphia community, right in front of the mall, the Roosevelt Mall, near the entrance. And then moments after takeoff, just after 6 o'clock, 6:07, one Ring camera reported. And here's a family that heard something, turned around,
and you see them. And to clarify, the flight was going from Philadelphia to Springfield, Missouri, but the child was being treated here in Philadelphia, and it was eventually going to be transported to Mexico, according to the sources who have been communicating with us. But it is just heartbreaking, Yuki, especially after the week that the country has had with the crash outside of Washington, D.C., and now to see this right here in our own backyards as we look at these images on the screen right now, the fire in that community. And you can only imagine the fear and the concern and how frightened the people might have been on the ground. We heard people screaming as they saw this. We're looking live now at the mayor, the governor, and the police commissioner about to come up to the microphones here as we are going to get an update from them on the situation at this point. Let's take a listen.
Again, for joining us. I want to give a quick recap of the information we shared earlier, and then we will give you some additional facts. An aircraft went down in the vicinity of Roosevelt Mall on Cottman Avenue, and it did occur shortly after 6 p.m. Again, we have no reports on the number of fatalities, so we are asking everyone for their thoughts and prayers for all who may have been impacted and affected by this tragedy. Several dwellings and vehicles were also impacted, and so we are urging people, particularly those families who live in the surrounding area, to please stay home if possible. If you see any debris, and those who are conducting the investigations have repeated consistently, please do not touch anything because it is still an active investigation. Just call 911, please, if you see anything. Investigators and all of our federal, state, and local partners are working as expeditiously as possible during this very difficult time. New information that we want to share with you, that shelter is now available at the Samuel Fells High School located at 5500 Langdon Street. Samuel Fells High School, 5500 Langdon Street. If anyone has been impacted and you need shelter and support, it is readily available for you. In terms of our federal and state partners, I want to say a special thank you to the NTSB. They are here on site now. The FAA, the Pennsylvania State Police, Pennsylvania DEP, of course, our police and fire departments, and OEM. I am here with Governor Shapiro. We've been in constant contact since it started. You'll be hearing from him shortly. But I also want to say a special thank you to our additional partners who we have spoken with, our federal leaders, U.S. Senators Fetterman and McCormick. Thank you so very much. All hands on deck. They wanted to make sure any and everything that we needed from the federal government, those supports and services are available. Congressman Evans, Boyle, and Scanlon, our congressional delegation, a special thank you to each of you for your support. I also need to affirm that locally here, Senator Joe Picozzi, Rep. Solomon, Reps. Nielsen, Doherty, who represents this area, and Bellman, Commissioner Dealey, and Councilmember Driscoll was present. If there was ever a time when we needed to affirm what the One Philly philosophy means, the time is now, and I'm very proud about how our federal, state, and all of our local partners are working hard to deal with this tragedy. I now want to turn it over to our governor and to say thank you, Governor, for your support and being here with us this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. The mayor preaches about One Philly. She talks about a unified approach to governing every day. What you're seeing here is a unified response to an awful aviation disaster. For as awful as that aviation disaster was, tonight we also saw the best of Philly. We saw neighbor helping neighbor. We saw Pennsylvanians looking out for one another. I want to reaffirm the comments the mayor said about all of the different agencies working together, and I want to especially thank and salute Philly Fire and Philly Police, who did an extraordinary job this evening. We know that there will be loss in this region, and we want to offer our thoughts and our serious prayers for those who are grieving at this moment. The mayor knows, and I want you all to know, that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania stands firmly with our partners in the city. We have, at the request of Commissioner Bethel, 45 state troopers who are on the ground right here in Northeast Philly. We have 25 members of our PennDOT team who are here right now. We have members of the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Authority who are here, including our director, Randy Padfield, who joins me behind here. We also have members of DEP, the Department of Environmental Protection, who are here to make sure that any hazardous materials are addressed. And as you heard the mayor reference, we're joined by several state representatives and senators. I want to thank them. They will make sure that whatever is needed for this community gets to this community. I also spoke earlier this evening with the United States Secretary of Transportation, Secretary Duffy, who offered his full support to Northeast Philly. And as the mayor alluded to, he has dispatched 4 members of the FAA to Philly, and there are 4 members of NTSB on their way as well. We have all the resources that we need. And again, as the mayor always says, One Philly, we are unified in our approach to deal with this emergency. And again, I'll just end by sharing my prayers, the prayers of my wife, Lori, our First Lady, and on behalf of 13 million Pennsylvanians, we are all here for Northeast Philly tonight in this very, very difficult moment. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you all. When we have additional information to report, we will come back and give another briefing. But now we want to let our federal, state, and local partners do their jobs and go to work. We'll report back to you when we have more information. Thank you all so very much for your patience and understanding.
Thank you.
Mayor Parker and city officials addressing the situation this evening.
And to recap what the mayor had to say, still waiting for answers here. She says she cannot at this point confirm the number of fatalities. So clearly the emergency responders still assessing the situation, trying to account for those who may have been in the homes there and also the 6 people who were on board that jet.
Governor Josh Shapiro calling this an awful aviation disaster, and that's exactly what it is, saying also that there will be loss. There will be loss in this region. But he also did say this region has the state's full support. And that's what the mayor, the community, everyone needed to hear after something like this that happened just after 6 o'clock this evening, almost.
All right, everybody. So that was the latest in the plane crash incident. Thank you all so much for watching. I am sorry about earlier today's stream issues. Apparently, I got it fixed with a couple of tweaks to my Streamlabs settings. So hopefully, you will have an easier time the next time that I go live. I am going to get off of here at least for a little bit. If they release any more major information tonight, I will go ahead and hop on. But I have an 8-year-old that I promised I would play video games with before bed. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I will continue to update throughout the night. My Facebook and my YouTube are at the bottom of the screen. And I hope that everybody has a great night and enjoy the rest of your weekend.